It's a beautiful day indeed, and I do know that we are in a black mood. You know, we haven't lost recently exited president, that's President Muhammadu Buhari. We remember him for a whole lot of things, and we continue to, you know, commiserate with his family and the loved ones. All of us Nigerians, we miss him, and I know that a lot of things. I remember about him. I used to tell people. That whenever I saw him at the time, I remembered my father, because my father was a very strict disciplinarian, and I don't know what image he creates in your head, but once I think about PMB, I think about discipline.
Yeah. About PMB was growing up where my father was. He believed in my father. And anytime I think about my father, I think of PMB as well, because he structured him. My father was a disciplinarian. When my father was in the Air Force, he was the one. And, you know, if he believes in you, he will just go all out for you. He never listens to somebody else. Mm. And one thing I will never forget about PMB, I belong to nobody. Mm.
And I belong to everybody.
He belongs to everybody. And for me, that was the key. I will miss him. I will miss him.
Okay. What about you? What do you remember about him?
For me, just like her, to be honest, when I think of PMB, I think of discipline. And then I think of my childhood. I think I was 8 or 7, and this war against indiscipline. Yeah. I remember then Nigerians actually had sense. You know, people would queue, people would not litter, and it's hard to believe, you know, over the years how things have changed. But for me, integrity, discipline, is synonymous with PMB.
Okay, what about you?
I mean, all of us that grew up in the 80s, you know, I think we're Gen X.
Yeah, Gen X.
I never knew.
Gen X. I think most of us that grew up who had parents that respected the values the man embodied. We also, you know, we imbibed that from our parents. He stood for integrity, he stood for discipline, and he had Tunde Diagbon at the time.
Oh, yes.
That was the deputy not deputy president, because that time it was the military era.
Yes.
Vice
president.
Vice something.
I've
forgotten the nomenclature. Yeah. Head of state and deputy head of state. Or
was that what they were called? Staff. No, he wasn't chief of staff.
Don't worry. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Forgotten the nomenclature. And that was what they both stood for. Yeah. And Idi Agbon, as handsome as he was, would never crack a smile. Yeah. He would never smile. And that sternness, that it's not that Nigerians had sense by default. Nigerians had started derailing, and somehow between Buhari and Idi Agbon, they were able to whip us back into shape, so to speak, sometimes literally, because you'd have soldiers in the market enforcing, you know, price regimen and things like that, getting people to queue up. That was when we had that small jingle that spoke about, don't, Andrew must not check out.
No checking out.
No checking out.
No checking out.
It was that era. I don't know if it was during Buhari or Babangida's time, because they were back to back. But when I think of Buhari, I think Megaskia. Yeah. He comes to my mind.
That's actually how he's addressed.
That's how he's addressed.
A lot of people, especially around his place.
Exactly. He strikes me as that president that wanted good for the country, even if he was not ultimately able to achieve it.
I agree.
You know, a lot of things have been said about him. Yesterday, I was listening to some people having conversation, and one said he should have written a book, you know, for people to really get to. Another person stood up and said he knew that he needed to write a book, but he did not, because he said, rather than write a book and tell a lie, I'd rather not do it. And then I write a book and tell the truth. A lot of people's families, a lot of people's family will be in problem, because he will be exposing a lot of things some people would have left to be where it is. And I remember when he left, I followed up so much, and I followed up on his life in Daura with his farm work, and I said to myself, this man, you know, expresses humility, you know, literally speaking, with his life back then. And they asked him, he said, I'm back in my village doing my farm work.
No, but there's something,
you know?
let me tell you something that I was so impressed with yesterday. I didn't know I knew he was loved by his people, but I didn't know the extent.
See that sea of hate.
I'm being honest, let's say the way it is. And I tell leaders, let us learn. Let us pick good things from other people we see. I looked at that airport and I thought I was somewhere else. Look at the roads. And it's so sad that I've been to some other roads and other places, and the people are still alive, and I'm embarrassed.
No, let's
just say the way it is.
Meanwhile, shout out to Katsina State.
Yes.
For producing 2 democratically elected presidents who were both deeply loved. Yeah. Because Yar'Adua also a very handsome man, if I'm not.
He looks like my father.
Everybody looks like your father.
Yar'Adua are handsome men.
Oh, yes.
You know, I don't know, maybe they look like their mom. I don't know what it is, but those people have some good genes.
Yes, they do.
And
Katsina,
they seem to be principled people.
Yeah.
Not just the Yar'Aduas, but the Katsina.
That Katsina.
You know, because of Buhari and Yar'Adua, I don't want to feel it's some random coincidence that these 2 people, the 2 presidents that I feel Nigerians loved the most, both happen to be from the same state.
It's not because they're from Katsina. Even Niger people are like that.
Yeah. Really? But do you know the funny thing? Sorry, let me just say this. They say men don't cry.
Yeah.
Man, I saw the governor. He wasn't crying. He was wailing.
Oh.
And I was saying, that's something to talk about.
We will be talking about that today, really, because we did covert abuse last week, and I was almost shutting down the iPad because everybody was coming for us. Why are we talking about women and emotional abuse and all of that? Whatever happens to the men cry, the men do this, and we made a promise that we will visit the men and get to do that. But before we dig deep into that, I'd like us to perhaps take a minute to reflect on what Buhari represented. And I was going through somebody's status, and she took time to explain a lot of things about life and death. And at the tail end, she said, I am only happy for one thing, for those who are making noise about our past president. He has achieved so much, and a whole lot has been said about him on the negative, but nobody ever called him a thief or a womanizer.
Yeah.
Which is something I want people to talk about. Before you begin to run your mouth about a dead person who actually reached 82. You are in your 20s. You are in your 30s. You're not even sure you reach 50.
You're not
Do you
sure
understand?
If you're going to wake up tomorrow.
Exactly. So think about the families, and please stop, evading the social media with rubbish. It doesn't make sense. This man achieved so much. He represents PTF, free drugs for people for so long. He did that for us. So let's give him respect. And when you accord respect, respect is also accorded to you. But then we said we're going to be looking at men, boys, and their emotions. You have men in your life.
Oh, yes, I do.
What if we remove them? How will you survive?
It won't be a beautiful world. See, sometimes I love the giz-giz, the basbos. Oh, yes, I do. I do, because the world cannot just be so smooth. But, man, the guys of these days, I don't know where they're from, but somehow we'll keep talking, and I think they'll get better.
Okay. If we remove your boy child, how would you feel? And indeed, the men in your life.
Honestly, there's no life without them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the truth.
There's no life without them. They are just, I think God, you see, God doesn't make mistakes. Men complement women. That's how it's supposed to be. But more there is work.
Okay. So let me do a little bit with Devon. Devon, can you try spelling woman or women without men inside? Is it possible?
Of course, it's impossible.
Well, we have ladies.
It's impossible, and I think the English language made it so to reflect the complementarity that should exist.
Both of them.
We are different for a reason. Men are different, women are different, but we are meant to complete each other. Where the man is weak, the woman has the qualities to fill those areas.
Yeah.
And in the parts that the woman is lacking, the man has the qualities to fill those areas. That is why I feel it is good for a woman to relax into her femininity.
Agree.
Let the man be masculine, even as we try to ensure that our laws, our rule, we ensure that we're all treated as equal human beings.
True.
But that doesn't mean that as a woman, I now want to become a man and exude masculinity and be so aggressive, and because that's the qualities that are known as masculine qualities. By the same token, I wouldn't want a man in my life to be feminine. I mean, like, I'm sorry.
Be a man. Be a man.
I'm not, like, trying to rain on anybody's parade or mock anybody, but I want a man to be masculine. In his demeanor, in his look.
Everything.
All right, so in line with that, we are dedicating today to the men in our lives, to the boys in our lives, because we want to start from the very beginning where it all began, the boys before the men. A lot of times we cry about the girl child, but the boy child is left because we feel they can handle everything. We actually start teaching the macho, emotional macho ahead of time. Is this okay? And then talking about celebrating them, there's so many, days and exposure and NGOs for the girl child. How many do we have for the boy child? I don't know. But let's find out. Do we have International Day of the Boy Child? And how much of these do the people on the street know?
Boys don't cry. You're a man in the making, so don't cry like a girl. Boys don't cry. We have heard odes written to the girl child turned woman. We have also read poetry written in honor of the girl child turned woman. But have we seen such exuberant attention shown to the male child? Surely we have more than enough discussion surrounding the female gender. But is it same for the male gender? I mean, we have more than one international day set aside in honor and celebration of the female gender. But is it same for the male gender? Do they have an international day to celebrate them? And if they do we know what that international day is?
I have no idea.
I honestly have no idea.
Is that such a thing? I have no idea.
Day of the International Boy. What the day is for?
What will it be for?
Celebrating the boy child, I guess. Because boys are special.
But I'm not a boy, so I will not be too concerned. But then I'll be happy for them because they have a day to celebrate them.
Since there's a day celebrating girls, there should also be a day celebrating boys. But I don't think the one celebrating boys is emphasized as the one celebrating girls.
It's the time where we celebrate and educate the boy child all over the world. Help them to portray and represent and carry out their functions as male wherever they find themselves.
In factuality, the International Day of the Boy Child is not officially recognized by the UN. However, through the efforts of Dr. Jerome Tilongsi, a university lecturer from Trinidad and Tobago, May 16th annually since the year 2018 has been set aside to celebrate the International Day of the Boy Child. This was and is being done to recognize the importance of boys' well-being and the challenges they face, while also celebrating the positive aspects they bring to their communities and families. If we look around, it is obvious that boys are often surrounded by societal norms that equate masculinity with silence, emotional suppression, and self-reliance. Needless to add that this style of living is neither healthy nor real. Therefore, let all hands be on deck to help dismantle harmful male stereotypes that not only impact the individual, but also contribute to broader issues like substance use, interpersonal violence, and gender-based harm, so that boys can feel happy and valued within the society. While chanting Save a Girl Child today, let's also begin to start chanting Save a Boy Child today. After all, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
Well, I add extra, but then we get to find out the reasons behind all of this. Meanwhile, you can always join us, assuming maybe your TV is having issue and you're complaining. Go to Instagram, just log on to @NTA Network. At NTA Network on Instagram, we're streaming live, and you can also get to participate, by the way. And also our phone lines will be on display anytime and it's any moment now, so that you can send your message. Don't call, text message, WhatsApp, and tell us, especially if you're a mother with strictly male children, want to share your experiences. How do you handle it, and how do you educate them to balance up well in life? But then I'll go to everyone here. They say men don't cry, but I'll start with Coach Didi, because you are a mental health coach. I'd like to find out, how did we get to that level?
I think it's just culture. It's a cultural thing. Men are raised to be strong. They are not supposed to show emotions. They are not supposed to be weak, because we have equated vulnerability with weakness.
Is tears a sign of weakness?
Absolutely not. In fact, let me share a short story. I remember when my first son was around 8, 7. I would come back from work, because I had always been intentional about raising boys with sense. Then I'll go to his room and I'll sit beside him and I'll think of something really sad. And then he'll come, Didi, Didi, what is it? You're looking sad. And then I would talk about maybe something happened in the office and I was sad. And then he would pat me on the back and say, I'm so sorry, Didi. And then I'll ask him, what do you think I should do? Sometimes I would even cry, to be honest. I would think of something really sad. And then he will hold me, and he was just a child, around 8 or so. And then I'll ask his opinion. What do you think I should do? He would say, okay, try this. Something really ridiculous, to be honest. But I just wanted him to understand I valued how he thought. Now, fast forward, a few years later, my son came back to me. He was, I think, 16 or 17. He said, Didi, you said men can cry. But my friend, I don't want to call his name on air, said, men don't cry. And to be honest, I was taken aback, because I had always raised my boys to know that vulnerability is not a weakness. It's part of being human. And I said, Munir, it wasn't Gidado. I said, Gidado, do you feel pain? He said, yes, I do. I said, have you felt so much pain that your heart is about to burst and then tears will roll down your cheeks? He said, yes. And I said, do you believe that God makes a mistake? He said, no. I said, tears are there for a reason. I don't expect you to wail because you're hurting, but I expect that when you feel hurt, automatically tears come down. And don't you feel relief? He said, yes. And I said, so why do you think it should have a gender?
Tears does not have gender, actually.
It shouldn't have a gender.
You know, speaking of tears not having gender, I recall in 2011, then our late president, former President Muhammadu Buhari, may God rest his soul, he was in CPC then. I think that's the name of the party, before the APC. So he was campaigning for election, and he had this speech that was almost 2 hours. And I was given the job of cutting it down to 25 minutes, you know, for airing. You know what got me? I was almost late packaging that thing, because I got to a point. You know, we've all heard his story as a very strong man, very this, very that. At a point, he was talking and he started shedding tears. I was looking at this TV and the computer, and I didn't know what to do, because I found out that I also had cloud in my ears. And immediately he won my heart over, because he was able to drop a tear for Nigeria. He was talking about what Nigeria needs, and he started crying. And that was 2011. For such a person, that tears, you know, and I know he's not a pretentious person. It was real.
Definitely, he's not.
You know, it was real.
The kind of person that will shed tears and I'll go cynical immediately.
Walk up us. Walk up us. No, that was sincere.
You know,
that was
so
sincere.
if such a strong character could, you know, shed a tear for a nation that he loved, why don't men, you know, shed tears? Why do they feel they have to bottle it up? I don't know.
Because they've been programmed. because they've been programmed over time. A boy is born and he's told not to do it. This is not what you should do. Don't do this. It makes you weak. If you hear something over and it becomes a programming. It's a programming. It's simple.
I don't know, Devon, were you also programming your Jessie like this?
Jessie? No. We've not programmed our boys to be invulnerable, not to show emotions. In fact, I think because I have not just my sons, but other young men in the house, but I think my sons are particularly emotionally intelligent. I spotted that in them at a very young age. They're very emotionally intelligent. So no, we don't have that kind of dynamic in the house. But peer pressure, what are they seeing in social media? What is culture telling them about a man being vulnerable? Is culture telling them that when you are vulnerable, it means you are not man enough to endure that thing without shaking and all of this? The truth is, everybody will experience something that will cause them to shake at some point. So as a man, yes, it's good to be courageous and brave and things like that, but there are times when you need to ease yourself in that manner. And I think that it's our unwillingness to give men the grace to be vulnerable that sometimes causes some of them to lash out in other ways. I could be wrong. So I think that as long as you're, and even for women, it's not good to be in a constant state of defeat and crying and all of that, whether male or female.
We should all be brave.
But we must recognize that right now I'm feeling really overwhelmed and I need to let this thing out so that I can have some ease.
I mean, it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to show the fact that you're not okay. But I would like to find out, Joy, when you find out, men around you or even boys are crying, what effect does it have on you? What impact? What goes on in your head, psychologically speaking?
Growing up, I went to a school that was a mixed school, and it was a military school. So I actually had a lot of interactions with guys. I was more comfortable with guys than with women. And we talked a lot. I think it was the mindset and the way their parents told them that a boy should be, masculine. He should not show weakness. And that is why many people are in trouble today. Because I remembered I saw a guy and I asked a personal question, a boy or a teenager. I said, why do you like to dress like a woman? And he was telling me that he's going in between being a female and a male. And I said, really, why? He says, because the females are loved. The females are cared for. So he wants to see whether being, is it a male female or a female male? I don't even know how to call it. And you see, that's the mentality many people are having, because they want to be loved, they want to be pampered, they want to be cared for. And the problem with society pressure, the pressure is heavy. The pressure is really, really heavy. And I will not lie to you, the male child, the boy child, they are going through stuff. And the thing is that parents have to be intentional, like we always say, for the parents to notice there's a problem with their male child.
True. Earlier on, I tried to look at a bit of what medical, science generally says about crying. And it says crying is a natural human emotion. It didn't say female. It says it's a natural female human emotions. And then it says it has various health benefits for men, not for women.
But what are their parents telling them?
And it says here, they include stress reduction, pain relief, and mood improvement. And then from the stress reduction, it added, crying can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body relax and can reduce stress hormones. So I don't know why men feel that they need to bottle up.
No, because they don't know. You see,
know,
like we always say, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So if these people don't know this is what it does, if I have malaria, I know that I'm supposed to go to the hospital and I'll be treated for this because I know I have malaria. But if people don't know the benefits of certain things, I am somebody, I tear up. Anything makes me tear up. Before you cough like this, I'm already tearing up. So, but you see, I just realized that, like this thing says, I'm even surprised because anytime I tear up, I'm relaxed.
You sleep.
It's true.
I am relaxed.
It gives you some
It gives
relief.
you, this peace, inner peace. And you see, the thing here is, maybe because I'm a woman and it's okay to cry. And that's why when I saw men wailing yesterday, they were not crying yesterday. They were wailing. And you see, that now showed that, excuse me, it's okay for men to cry.
It is.
It doesn't make you a weakling.
It is, because even for people who are in marital relationships,
Yes.
if not that you make it a habit, when you feel your wife has done you wrong and
should
you're
cry.
bottled up, without
She said it.
without
You should cry.
without saying anything,
You're the kind of people that we're talking about.
You know, it's not easy. You get one guy when you go cry.
if I plan,
no,
if I plan to deal with my husband,
Yes.
and I see a drop of tears, I'm done.
You know something, as a younger person, let's say
Yes.
like in my teens or something,
Yes.
I know that I've expressed on more than one occasion that if I ever see my father cry, I'll
Yeah.
lose hope. Because I'll go no say
There's
that
a
thing,
problem.
you don't pass,
You
be
don't
careful
pass
now.
it,
Yeah.
be careful.
Because I'd never seen my dad vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was somebody who was extremely stoic.
Yeah.
He could face literally any storm
Anything.
head on. You know, and not in an aggressive brash or, you know, he just was somebody who had immense control of his
So if he
emotions.
tears
I don't
up-
know if he used to enter the room and go and
No, I'm
cry
sure they
or
used
I'm
to
sure,
cry
I'm
in
sure they
the room.
did. They
You
just
know,
did it
so
in private.
you
They just
understand?
did it in private.
But I had this mentality, and I recall expressing it more than once, that if
Yeah.
I ever see my dad cry, I'll know we are toast. I'll know that whatever that problem is, like there's no solution now. There's nothing anybody can do about it. 'Cause,
I know.
you know. So
Yeah.
I think there's also that weight on the man
Yes.
that if my wife sees me crying over this thing,
Yeah.
she may, whatever strength she's trying to muster might dissipate. So I have to, because I'm the one that they're looking up to, so I have to be the standard bearer.
Yes.
So, but even after you do that standard bearing in front, when you enter toilet, lock door, cry in peace, so that you can get some
But
relief.
you
Not
know-
that you lie down one day and
You
wake
see-
up with stroke.
You see this thing you said? My father was sick. We didn't know he was sick. He was hiding it.
Yeah, because
Wow,
it's a
that's
conditioning.
crazy.
It's a
He was,
conditioning.
he was hiding it. But guess what? We just realized he was losing weight. You know, and my mom says, so you know what? See, sometimes when I remember, it hurts. Because he bottled it.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to tell us
That's being
he was
vulnerable.
sick. And by the time we realized it,
It was too late.
it was already late.
Oh my God.
And you see, I want to use this. I'm so happy we're talking about this. The boy that has, you know, somebody said, oh, it's only those disease they get when, when they, you understand what I mean? And,
I don't understand.
and somebody says, you don't
She says she
understand.
doesn't understand.
Okay. You know, like when you have a female
Intercourse?
friend, intercourse, and you know those days, syphilis, gonorrhea.
Okay.
Okay. This boy said, oh, after all, it's just syphilis and gonorrhea. But now they're trying to tell them that times have changed. Things have gone past those kind of ones. Now you're having what you call HIV and all that.
Yeah, but even those ones
Yeah,
were really
they're
bad.
terrible.
No, they were bad.
They're terrible.
But I was in shock for a child or teenager telling me, oh, it's just gonorrhea and syphilis.
He doesn't know.
What is bad is bad. And the problem I'm having is that parents, it's so easy for you to sit down with your girl child to tell her how she cannot get pregnant or this and that and that. and you leave your male child very vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable.
You know, speaking on this, on this STD you're talking about, a lot of times, in fact, it's important to talk to our boy child about it as early as yesterday.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of infertility going on, and it wasn't acquired when they got married. No. It's a disease you had in the past.
And
a lot of times, they did not go to the hospital.
Yes.
They bought antibiotics.
That's it.
Took the wrong one, and suppress the symptoms.
That's it.
And it's still in there at the end of the day.
One and they don't take it for the full duration.
Or even the way it should be.
Yes, exactly.
Like if you're told to take within 12 hours, you think, okay, it's morning and night.
No, but they're private. They're private about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So at the end of the day, your boy child is, exposed to a lot of things later
in life.
Infertility, sexual problems.
And that's why it's on the high.
It's on the high.
Yeah.
So we should begin to talk to our boy children as at now. Yeah. It's very important.
Very important.
I moving away from boys not crying. Okay, I was looking at something while you were talking. It says benefits of crying for men. It reduces stress. It's a pain relief. It's a mood improvement. It improves sleep. It's good for your eyes, the water. And then if you don't do it, you're going to have mental issues, physical health problem, increased stress. So if your child needs to cry, please encourage him to cry. And even as he gets older, encourage him to cry, because you're actually saving your child's, health, preserving your child's health, as you go on. I recall when I lost my parents, really. Yeah. It was such a shock, because I spoke with them 1 hour, and after that I was told that 2 of them were dead.
Yes.
Oh, and for 1 week, I couldn't cry.
Yeah.
And most people didn't know, for that same 1 week, I didn't sleep. Wow. Like 7 days, no sleep. And I was eating so much, and I lost so much weight. The day I managed to cry, I was able to sleep off. I thought I was crying and slept off. That was the first time I slept after 1 week. So it goes a long way to tell you the benefit of, crying. If you have anything, please cry. And beyond crying, also speak of. But then, beyond the emotional part, I know that in the past, we used to talk about the girl child dropout in school. Surprisingly, I was listening to Professor Oloide not too long ago when they had their conference in JAMB. And he said something that got me, it confirmed my fear, because I checked within NTA where I worked, checked the staff lists. We have more women than men, and it wasn't like this in the past. It simply tells me we have more female graduates than the male one. I go to other places, the teachers now, it looks like it's only the female teachers that we have.
It has always been more for females.
Any place you go to now,
it's female.
Go to police station. Before once you talk about police, now woman, now man. Now is more women. There are a lot of women, but not still, they are not more men. But I'm telling you, with time, it's going to come to that too, because we're gradually taking hold everywhere. And if the director can play Professor Loide's this thing, let's not over exaggerate. If you have it handy, let's hear what he said. It's quite brief.
Male, female. You can see that the female, we are now endangered. You can see the female now. You have seen them taller than the men. All states of the southwest, southeast, and south-south, they are having more women, more female than male. All southwest, southeast, and south-south. And Kwara in the north central, inclusive. You can see more women. So we need to do affirmative action for the boys.
We're going with Professor Loide. We need to do affirmative action. I don't know what that means anyway, but I just know that we need to encourage the boys to enroll. Enrollment is very important, because statistics of population census in Nigeria says that women are 49% and men are 51%. So we should have them.
Did they get it right?
I wonder.
Yes,
I think
I'm not sure.
I
They
think
got it
so.
right.
Because
Yes,
you see,
it's always
I
been
believe-
more
I think
men
so.
than women. I don't
But
know
I
where
believe
this
that, you see,
myth
we
came
have
from.
more women now is because more girls are being sent to school. I think that's just it.
And because
The
there's
boys
an
are always going to
awareness
school,
that
yes.
you have to
but
go
boys
to school.
already go to school.
Well,
So,
we're
but what's
talking
wrong
of
with
the general
balancing? He told us about
50-50.
what is good for the goose.
It's good for the...
And the women will go to school. They come back, they want to marry men that went to school. And you don't find.
And that's why there's a problem.
Not necessarily. If you have money, they don't really care. Let's
Who
be
told
real.
you?
How do they get the money?
Many, no, businessmen.
Yeah.
Businessmen who didn't go to school, they get married. And they get married to graduates. I've seen a few.
Yeah, that's
so it's
fine.
not necessarily.
No, but you
so.
know why they are not complaining? Because they have money. What of the men that don't have money?
And
How
they
many
will
of them
find-
have
they will
money?
find poor women and marry.
No.
You were
You
going
see,
to
so
say
that
something.
means most of them will be single.
Really? There is no,
Yeah.
there are poor men and poor women. No. They will,
No,
they will marry
you see,
themselves.
what we're trying to say now is according to the ratio that was set. You see, the thing here was that the men were more before because there was a lot of awareness
Yes.
that look for you to be empowered as a woman and have your own power with having something in your hand and being in control of that home that you call family. You have to go to school. There are some people who go to school not because they want to work, but they want to make sure that they have, you know,
A
there's
backup.
nothing as having that backup because you never know
What will happen,
what
what will
life is going to throw at you.
Absolutely.
So you see, the thing here is that, and now nobody's talking about the men. Most boys are dropping out.
True.
Most boys are on drugs.
True.
Because you see, let me tell you, there's a difference. If you look at the ratio of when you send your kids abroad, you might not go to visit your girl child. She will graduate.
Yeah.
But most of the time, when you send your boy child abroad, there's a possibility that he's not going to graduate.
Yeah.
It's either he's on drugs or on something. So the thing here is that just as how we've put so much awareness into the girl child, I think we should wake up and try and put it on our boy children.
Now, let me come in here. Back when we had more boys in school, it was about the parents prioritizing sons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
we're in a patriarchy.
Yeah.
So the son is more important than the daughter. To a certain degree, that
Then-
style of reasoning still
Yes.
exists to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that it has changed so much. What I do know is that more boys now have the audacity to drop out of school. It's not that I don't know any parent that will wake up and pay school fees only for girls and ignore the boys.
Yes.
Whereas back then
they'll pay
if
for the
somebody
boys.
had 2 sons and 5 daughters, they would pay
pay
for
these
those 2
two-
sons at the expense of the 5
5
daughters. You can
girls.
sit at home, after all, you are going to marry and all
Yes.
of that.
Yeah.
But now you can have all 7 of those kids in school, and it's those 2 boys
That will drop
that will drop out and come and sit in the house and expect you to foot their bills. And you know, there's one kind of
They're entitled.
entitlement
Honestly.
thing that
entitled.
is going on with
Yes.
boys now, and I don't even know where it's coming
Actually,
from.
that doesn't have a gender. Boys and girls today, they are both entitled.
But the boys are more likely to drop out of school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I agree with Joy when she says that drugs are
I
playing a
was going to
major role
actually
in
mention
this.
that.
Yeah.
A major role. I miss the days when if you were caught dealing drugs and you were found guilty, that was it. No dogon turenchi. You would not get another opportunity to destroy another person's child again once you were found guilty. You were done away with during the military era. I miss those days because you could not find drugs anyhow.
Yeah, easily.
Now your child can be sitting in front of you
Yeah.
and be eating drugs, and you think that person is eating cookies.
Yeah.
Yes, because they bake them into food.
Yeah.
You know,
Drinks.
there are natural substances that they can, there are some things, very natural substances that they can use, which I'm not going to mention because by mentioning it, somebody
Yeah.
who didn't
Yes.
know,
True.
I'll just be introducing
Yes,
that person
yeah,
to
that's
you.
true.
So, our boys are more likely to go into drugs, and when they get involved in that lifestyle, all they want to do is somehow have money to live the good life.
Yeah.
They are no longer interested in putting in the blood, sweat, and tears that go into making proper money to sustain that Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid lifestyle that you are aspiring to. Then before you know it, they are doing a 419 Pro Max.
Yeah.
What is
Yes.
it called?
Yeah.
No, there's that one where they all end up as cultists. They find them
Yahoo Plus.
Yahoo Plus.
Okay, yes.
You know, getting girls killed, and everybody now assumes that those girls are runs girls. Not really. Some are girls who are just dating their university boyfriend.
Just normal.
Just normal boyfriend.
Might I add something, to be honest?
Yes.
You see, the thing, you made a point about, in the olden days, parents prioritized the boy child over the girl child. Yeah, today, systematically, it's still being done in a different light. You notice the boy child is sent to private university, the girl child is sent to government university. The boy child is sent abroad, the girl child studies in Nigeria. So you see, this disparity is still there. Whether
So,
the
but why
boy
are
child is
girls
more intelligent or
spending
not,
why are the boys dropping out?
no, I'm not talking about the dropping out. I'm talking about the fact that there is still prioritization is still going on because the patriarchy is still there. The cultural programming that the boy child is somehow more special. Somehow, you see, it's not everybody that's aware of that.
You know,
I think
when you were
sometimes
talking,
it depends
you
on
said
where you're from
that you make conscious efforts to talk to your girl child to conform and all of that. I also think, I used to know a family, you know, I don't know where they are now, but when we were growing up, the woman had all 5 boys.
Wow.
And she was very intentional. She wasn't even educated. She taught those boys to be, you know, hands-on. She taught those boys real values. She taught those boys how to be good men, good sons, and good husbands. Hopefully, I don't know where they are now. But then I think that it all's wrong because a lot of times our parents begin to tell us as women, they are conscious because they've seen of 2 people, usually not one person they show. So because of that, that person that is, you know, the one to show the pregnancy, they are more controlled. We don't want you to do this thing because if it happens, the boy will be free or your life will be ruined.
Which is true.
It's partially true too. You know, but if we make our boys understand that if you do the wrong thing, you also have effects. The way we are talking to the girls is the way we should talk to our boys.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, I think that if I talk to my boys more, the girls will be more protected.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because a lot of times, and it's always the boy that will tell you, if you love me, prove it.
Yes, or send me a picture.
So
I like that.
Yeah, send me a picture.
Yeah, and I will tell you, and I will tell you, if you love me, you go wait for me. You know. So let's try to balance out this thing, because any boy showing love is not by having anything in the other room. That's not true love. A true love, we should talk to our boys. Real love means you're going to help this person to be a better person. You're also going to help yourself to be a better person. Somebody that your parents will be proud of, somebody that your wife will be proud of, somebody that society will hail.
Sorry to cut in. I remembered some weeks ago I said something. You are advising your boy child. What does he see in you?
Thank you.
Excuse me.
True. Yeah.
The thing here, see, fundamentally everything is already messed up. You are telling your boy child not to beat a woman.
And you're being beaten.
Perpetually. You're beating his mom. So you see, the thing here is that we said something here some weeks ago. It is not about you giving your child advice. They should see you as the example.
True.
And you see, this is why I said, growing up, I never thought my parents used to quarrel because they used to do it in the bedroom. And I just thought that, are these people normal? It was when I grew much older. Unfortunately for us, social media has come. AI is here. TikTok is here. Every day you see men dehumanizing women.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I was going there.
Yeah, and it's okay. But you see, what these people fail to realize that it is not okay. The women now know their rights. And that's why when I hear a man and a woman, you join together and you follow me behind, it doesn't work that way. When you get married, the mentality that our boy children should have, the male, is that, look, when you get married,
Your
your partners is a support system, not a boy. Because many men think that when they get married, they're getting married to a slave.
They're buying house help.
That's it. It's to cook. You see them, they're sitting down, they're not doing anything. The child is crying. They're sending you like a dog and all that. So the thing here is that they say, oh, you're very stubborn. You're very stubborn. My mom did not complain. My mom did not. Because many male children I see today always say, oh, but my mom survived in all this. Without money, she survived. My father did not give her money. It was okay. And you see, because most of these male kids they are looking at their parents as their example.
Yeah. So parents
there's
should
a problem.
actually set listen.
Joy, you said there's nothing wrong with following the husband.
No, there's nothing.
Because you said, oh, when you get married, there's no follow. You are supposed to. The husband is supposed to be the leader of the family.
Nobody changes that.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I need to make a point because you see, when women are assertive or they're called rebels, you can only follow somebody who leads well.
Okay. All right.
If your husband is not leading well.
If you are not leading well,
no, but if your husband is not leading well,
it will be hard to follow.
Bam.
It will be hard to follow.
You have answered.
Messages from our online participants. It says, hello, it is not like we aren't vulnerable. We just know when to be. We can't cry in front of people that look up to us because that will surely break them. So we hide it and mostly do it alone. But we do cry. Nice to chat with you. That's Bashir Sida Mustafa. It didn't tell us where you're writing from. But then, okay, the basic thing is that you find time to cry. But I can assure you that even if it's once in 10 years, let your children see you cry. You will touch them a whole lot, and they will change, completely. Good morning, Mrs. Didi and others. I want to advise the people you are just discussing your mind on the topic crying. These other things I don't understand, but anyway, whatever, if you can simplify it, I'll find it better. But he says he's writing from Gwagwalada, and another person says, even when he becomes an adult, they are silent because of fear and shame, but there is a certain stage where a boy has to separate from his mom. Okay, it says from the beginning. Let me take it again. A boy child is more tender to handle than a girl child. A girl listens and learns coping strategies more than a boy. A boy is still tender even when he has become an adult. They are silent because of fear and shame, but then there is a certain stage where a boy has to be separated from the mother, sister, so that he can learn the ways of men to avoid Oedipus complex in future.
You see the problem.
Okay, that's Dr. Stella Atom from Makurdi. Dr. Stella, I want to believe that before a child is born, there is a father.
There's a mother. You don't have to stick in a way to learn something.
And parenting is not a school where you have a term, a semester, and all of that. It's done simultaneously as the child is growing. The father is impacting the ways of a man, which is why if you go some places, I used to know some couple on some other day, the wife takes the children, including the boys, to watch movies. The father takes them to go play baseball and basketball and all of that. So it's, as they are driving, they are having their boy talk.
It.
When they are with their father, mother, they are having a feminine talk.
That's so important.
You see, this is the major problem we have today.
Not the driver.
I talk in schools, I talk at PTA meetings, and I coach kids. The major problem we have today is because fathers now believe they are just providers.
Yes.
So we have absent fathers.
Yes.
Parenting has been left 100%
to the women.
Yeah. Which is why you cannot give what you don't have. You can only teach the best you can.
Yeah.
But having that role model, most boys I have talked to, I have had teenage programs. Their fathers are not their role models. Funny enough, even neither are their mothers anyway.
Yeah.
Because the fathers are not present. So finding that balance between providing and being a father, I've said it many times. See, becoming a father, even a madman by the road can become a father to a child. But being a father takes intention.
Okay, we had somebody who once said, men who don't take care of their home are just sperm donors. I don't know about that,
No,
but that's what he said.
Infidel.
That's the Bible. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, really?
The Bible describes
says men
people
who
as,
don't care for their family. They are worse than infidels.
You see, sorry to cut you here, because you see, I think we're being a bit harsh, because it's not that they don't care.
It's what the Bible
Some
says.
don't care.
No, I'm not saying, no, I know. I'm talking about most men today. It's not that they don't care,
Sweetheart,
but they don't prioritize. No, they don't care. They care.
How do you have a child?
They care.
You made an example some weeks ago. You have a child who schools abroad. You get into that city and you just make a phone call?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But and you say they care?
Yeah, they send money now. That's the caring part.
Okay, so money will train the child ahead. This one says the pressure Africans have placed on the boy child is uncalled for. The burden is so much, the expectations so high. Sadly, little is deposited in them, both from the government, society, family. Is not same in other parts of the world. I have 3 boys. Honestly, raising them to be self-independent and not pressured as the society demanded. Nice discussion, young John, watching from Abuja. Thank you so much. And you're very, very correct. We beg our boys. We always say, see your mates, you know. All right, let's see. I think you women... okay, let's move on a little bit. Another person says, I'm so impressed with your program. I watch it every Wednesday. This topic is extremely sensitive to me. I have come to realize that some parents place the boy child higher than the female, more priority, and even making the boy child feel like there are some house chores that he cannot do. This ends up creating men instead of husbands, as in the case of marriage. One love to Joy Okmanachi and to all of you. I'm Maurice Agazi from Kaduna. Maybe that's your old school.
That's
you went to school
maybe one of my old school
mates. Good morning. Men are naturally built to be stronger in nature to handle all situations. On a lighter note, that is why you see all the hard brands using men to advertise their products, like Aboniki, Body. Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. This one says, hello, good morning to you ladies. I thought the boy child have been forgotten in our society. The reason why I'm saying this is that over the years, the girl child have been in the minds of our government. But I'm happy for the program you have on the boy child conversation this morning on NTA station. Please kindly use your program, inform our government that boy child needs their assistance on all ramifications of life. Thank you. You didn't write your name, but then we sincerely appreciate this. And let's see if we can take one more. My director is on my listen. My advice most of our parents don't like to take their children for polio vaccines and vitamin A. All right. He says we should try and make sure that we take our people out, the young ones, to immunize them. Our final notes, please.
My final note is that, look, we have a dysfunctional society, so we have to wake up. We have to put more emphasis on the boy child.
Okay, are you?
I would say because I work with women, they always complain, men are this, men are that. And so I now tell them, please raise the man of your dreams.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Raise the man of your dreams.
Yes, so that somebody else will be lucky enough to have.
I would say that parents need to be conscientious, and they should embody the qualities they want to see their children living out. It's not enough to just give instruction and say, while you are living something opposed to, it doesn't work. In fact, it breeds rebellion.
Yeah. Right? True. My final note is lay your bed the way you want to lie on it. If you want your boy child to be that's, Mr. President, gentleman, please start now. As soon as the child is born, begin to talk. In fact, from the womb, speak greatness to your child. Speak greatness to the boy child, because at the end of the day, they can only be that which you have put into them. Don't forget that our program streams live at NTA Network on Instagram. And if you miss this in any way live, please go to NTA Series and you will find the packaged uploaded down there. My name is Liz, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye. Bye.